We'll talk about the best nights, we'll sing about the hard times. Let the world slow down for a moment or two, then we'll get back to walking the line. There's gonna be some truth, a few tall tales, and a lot of whiskey, and a lot of whiskey.
Welcome to another episode of True Tall Tales and Whiskey. Tonight we have Ethyn Martin in the Whiskey Locker. What's going on, man?
Oh, glad to be out here. Thanks for having us.
So what brings you in tonight?
Playing a little couple songs for you, trying to get my face, get my name out, get some music out for you.
Let's talk about that first song that you played today, The River.
So, The River, it was one of those, we were talking earlier, and I went through kind of a dip in my life. I've always been, happy-go-lucky. Everybody sees me smiling all the time, and one of those things you hide it all. But it was a song about, it's a love song, obviously, but I was just standing in my room. I had just gotten a pedal that does harmonies for you, and it was one of those things that just came to me. I was standing there just messing with it, harmonizing with myself, and couldn't think of any words, and I belted out. I was just, I was standing on the river, and had those harmonies, and it just kind of stuck, and I was like, that's a song.
Well, I do like, so you don't ever use that live?
No.
I've never seen you use it live.
I sold it.
Listen, man, I kind of like that, and no hate to anybody that likes to use them. It's just, to me, it's very noticeable. But I like that. I like the perspective from somebody like you that you had one, and just that sound kind of encouraged you to do that song.
You get your spark from anything nowadays. You just find something and it clicks. And my click was just that harmony thing, and I played it. I've had the song, hadn't really played it out a lot, but I got it right 2018 and messed around with it. 2019 hit, and I had a band at that time, the Ethyn Martin band, and we kind of built off of it, and we had a whole song. I had my guitar player playing some steel kind of stuff to it, and after a while, COVID hit, kind of threw everything apart, and just messed everything up. Where I went back to playing by myself. Yeah. It's just one of those things of having a band it's a hard thing to do.
It's a very hard thing
keeping everybody
to do.
together.
That's the bane of every singer-songwriter's existence,
right.
I think, is trying to get guys that are going to commit to it.
In the area I was in, we didn't have an all-around bass player like y'all do out here.
I know a guy.
Who's that?
Well, I had the one guy out there, and he played for us for a good bit, and COVID hit. They had to move down south, and I just started playing acoustic by myself again, and kind of fell off, just playing here and there. And 2020 is when we found out we were pregnant with my firstborn. So it just kind of fell off completely at that point. And I'd play, the Facebook Live. Everybody went Facebook Live during COVID. And I did a couple of those, but I ended up selling a bunch of stuff because I wasn't playing that much. So I just kind of dropped off the whole harmony part. And I need to pick up another one, just to show y'all, because y'all have only seen just the me singing it. I thought that adding the harmonies to it was a whole step up to it. It makes it a whole different song. But even just raw, I like playing it. I feel it, and it it was a part of my life that
I can picture what you're talking about. I get it, because that song has kind of a gospel-y feel to it, which is awesome, and it lends itself to that. But man, it truly does not matter if you're playing with anybody else in the room, for me. And I remember seeing you for the first time and liking what you were doing. And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, who is this voice? And that's what made me pay attention to you. But when I heard that song is when I kind of went, oh my gosh, this dude is ridiculous. And I think the first song I'd ever heard you cover was a Cody Jinks song.
Oh, I call that Old and Faithful. You know,
Yeah.
that's my grail. It's a song that I could probably play the guitar behind my back with my eyes closed and sing that whole song through and through. You know, it was one of my first. That's the first song I ever heard of Cody Jinks. There was a YouTube channel, a local dude. I don't remember his name, but it was on like channel 27. And I came home one day and my dad showed it to me, and it was Cody Jinks, and they were playing Cast No Stones on. It was like Dale or something. Dale something. And that kicked off my, like, I like this. I want to keep doing this, you know, because before I was in bands or just playing by myself. And just kind of did it to do it because it was fun. But that song just kind of kicked me into hey, I really like doing music, really like singing in front of people and letting people hear my voice, you know. It was a crazy... what's really funny is that... what was his name? The guitar player he had for a good while actually ended up living in the apartment building behind us. And when I lived in Midlothian, Chris Clarity, that's who it was. Ran into him him and his, I guess, girlfriend or whatever, used to hang out at the pool at the apartments. And I saw him all the time, and I was like, hey, dude, y'all are great. You know, y'all are what made me start playing more, like, I guess, religiously, you know? And it was just so cool to talk to him, and he was just like, oh, dude, that's cool. You know, keep doing it.
Did he ever hear you sing?
No, the one time they had an open mic where I grew up in Maypro, and he showed up the one night that I didn't go. So it's one of those things, you know.
That's the thing. I think people hear a lot. You inspired me to do this thing, but they never get to hear what the end result was. You know what I mean? Like, it would be really cool, I think, you know, when somebody says that and you hear them and you go, oh my gosh, like, awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's like, so I grew up at Maypro. I don't know if y'all know who Bart Crow is.
I sang on one of his records.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Bart Crow grew up at Maypro. Him and my dad went to school together, and I'll run into him every once in a while. I actually ran into him last year at the airport. They were sending me off to Kansas for training, and I ran into him. And I was like, hey, you know. And the time before that I ran into him, I had just had my firstborn, and I walked up to him and did the whole, hey, excuse me, sir, will you sign my baby? And he was like, oh, Ethyn, you know, good to see you. And my wife was with me, and he looked at my wife and was like, hey, your dad is the reason, you know, I'm this big into music. You know, my dad used to give him like Pearl Jam tapes and stuff like that for him to listen to. And it just kind of, I guess, another one of those, you know, you just roll with the flow and your influences come in and get you. And that was cool to hear, because my dad's, you know, he doesn't ever really, he's like me, you know, he doesn't really talk about himself. He just kind of, shows everybody that he's a cool dude by just being there. And it just hearing Bart talk about that, you know, somebody that's around where I grew up, it's a big name, you know. It was just a whole experience.
Maypearl, there's Great House Road and Great House Cemetery.
Hey, there is a Great House Road.
Fun
I live
facts.
right down the road from it.
Fun fact, yeah. So, growing up in there, and you talk about your dad a little bit, and then today you sang a song that you said that was kind of co-wrote by your dad and his friends about obviously what would have been a big part of your life.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that song as well.
Yeah, so that's my first full band experience was with the Damn Texans, and it was my dad's buddy Greg. He was the lead singer, and they were trying to put something together. Growing up, like a year or two before we started the band, they were up there in his loft just recording songs. They picked up a computer and this software that they could do drums and stuff, and was recording. I think we got probably about a whole album worth of songs, you know. Just we would go over there, my dad would go over there with him, hang out, they'd figure songs out. Another one of the songs that I sing on like open mics and stuff, Missy song, Crazy Girl, I don't remember what it is on Spotify, was another one of those. It wasn't my dad that helped write it, but my dad influenced it, you know. it was one of the first times my dad actually met Greg, and when they were over at their house hanging out, and my dad, that's a whole nother story. But that kind of started their friendship, and we would go over there, and my dad would be hanging out with them. I'd be hanging out with Greg's kids or sitting up there watching them record music. And that song, which I said it doesn't have a name. It does have a name. I just don't know the name. It's like May something of 2006 or 7, I think, is like the date that my parents got divorced. And that's basically what that song was about. And it's one of those songs that it's a part of my life, you know. So you know, embrace it. It's why I am who I am today. You know, it's why I'm sitting here, you know, in here talking to y'all. You know,
well, I think we can resonate with it because of that. There's a heartbeat to that you can, you know, even if you don't know what the song's about, there's something that's gonna, you know,
got them
there's
little pieces
feeling
gonna
in
catch
it.
somebody.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'd like to know a little bit more. So your dad wrote that song with some of his friends, or so you come from a musical background. Have you been around music since you were a little kid?
Oh yeah. So the opening, when I was a boy sitting on the front porch, my uncles played them same old tunes. That's my would be my great uncles. You know, my whole dad's side of the family, it was family reunions was a guitar circle basically. You know, we'd hang out during the day, and nighttime all the kids start going to bed, and we'd just start sitting around, and all my great uncles, my dad's uncles, would be playing songs, old country songs, which is basically a part of my like musical I play a bunch of old country music. You know, it's a part of me, my roots. You know, I got gauges, I got a septum ring. I roll up and people are like, "Oh, what kind of music do you play?" And they're expecting me to say like Nirvana, and I catch a little bit of that, you know, because it is part of my background, grunge and stuff like that. But they see all this, and they don't expect me to bust out with some Lefty Frizzell or, you know, Waylon or Keith Whitley, stuff like that. But that's what I grew up on, you know, sitting around the house, sitting at my grandma's house. All of her brothers would be sitting there playing country music, you know, just picking and grinning and having a good old time. And I'd be some kid, you know, sitting off behind everybody, just listening, at playing with all my cousins or, you know, whoever was there. And I never thought it would be anything growing up. And then my dad got me to start playing guitar, and it just slowly climbed up from there, and here we are.
I can sort of hear all those influences. You kind of have like a Sturgill Simpson thing a little bit about you, which he has that. You know, he's got his albums run the gamut of his influences, but the voice is the through line, you know. But he kind of has that old, like, sort of Waylon-ish thing, and you have that. Like, and that's what first drew me to you when I first heard you sing. And I think, you know, the context of you being on this podcast is that, you know, there's not a lot of people, you don't have a lot of things recorded at this point. And so sort of the intent with this is to get you out there so that
we had a drunk man run through here and try to attack someone with a hatchet.
Naked drunk man just showed up.
we had a streaker.
That was weird. You know, we handled it.
Yeah.
Brandon Callies put him down.
Judo chopped him right in the throat.
Listen, you don't want to mess with me. I do a lot of push-ups every day, man.
So where were we?
The last topic was the river, getting your music out there, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that second song I played about my dad and
Let me jump in here. I want to say something. Earlier, you made a comment about you sing this traditional country, old school country music, but when people walk in, you have the gauges and the septum, and they probably think of you another way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say what I saw when you walked in. Saw two things. Saw two stickers. One on your hat and one on your shoe. So what I want to know is how good are these nursery rhymes that you're singing these kids every day if you haven't been sharing your voice with anybody else?
Well, so my oldest, these are good luck stickers from Lily. She told me that I had to wear them. If it started off with a big 4-inch Princess Tatiana, I guess is who it was. Stuck it on my shirt and said, "Dad, you have to wear this." I said, "Let me get a small one." And she was like, "All right." So she went back with Pascal, the little lizard from the Rapunzel one. And then not too long after, I told her, because this one kept falling off my shirt. I had it right here on my shirt. And I told her, I was like, "Hey, this one's falling off. Let me get another one, another small one." I said, "Do you have another Pascal? I'll stick it on my hat." And she come back with the big mermaid that I stuck on my shoe. Just so it would kind of be out of frame. Not because, I'm embarrassed to being a dad. I think that's a good portion of why I kind of don't put myself out there. I enjoy being at home. I staying with my kids, my wife. I love them to death. That's why I do, this side. It's basically a side hustle is what I call it, music. It used to be my full-time thing back when I was just by myself or, just had a girlfriend. I was in a band and liked music, and then got married, had a kid, and I just kind of do it on the side. My oldest, Lily, the one that gave me the stickers, her favorite song that I sing is Sunshine. You Are My Sunshine. Yeah. I sing it, and always, just as her being a baby, when we would rock her to sleep, I would sing it to her. And the minor key and all, I
was gonna say it's a minor.
Yeah, like in a minor key, it gives you the full feeling of the lyrics. You hear it all the time at major key. That's everybody knows. Hey, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine, and everybody thinks it's just this bright, upgoing song until you sing it. I just happened to watch the last episode of Sons of Anarchy, and it's Jamie Johnson, Twiggy Ramirez, and somebody else singing it in a minor key, and I was like, "Oh, that song's fucking sad."
Yeah,
that's terrible. Yeah. I love it. That's all I sing is just sad country music. For I'd say 90 to 95% of my music that I sing is just sad, beer drinking, whiskey drinking music. And once I heard it in minor key, I was like, that's going in the set list.
It is cool. Sure. I have noticed that about you, is that most of your songs are very heartfelt, kind of sad.
Yeah.
But there's a juxtaposition with you and your life. You have a wonderful wife and kids, and it's also cool that every show I see you at, they're there.
Yeah.
All of them.
They're my biggest fans.
Yeah.
All three of them, my two girls and my wife, they're being here. There's not a big area for them to sit, and their kids, they're going to be routing around Buckshus. Mm-hmm. I think they'd enjoy being here, just watching me just do this, talking or playing a couple songs. They're my biggest fans, and I love them to death for it. That's what I do this for, is because they enjoy hearing me sing, even though I really don't get to sing at the house that often with my guitar. I'll sing them to sleep or something. My oldest, Lily, she'll ask me to sing her a song. It's got to be a back pat.
Yeah.
And then probably about 3 out of 4 times it's will you pat my back and sing me a song? And that always brings tears to my eyes. Just having my biggest fan right there, just, hey, sing to me while you put me to sleep.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's
it's a
cool.
whole nother laugh.
Also, that's, I don't know. I'm sitting here talking about things to, get you out there and get people to notice you. But honestly, that's a life goal for so many people. You know what I mean? Do things that matter the most to the people that you love the most, That's kind of rad.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's the best. I love it, My family is one of my biggest supporters. And even friends that are basically family. All the stuff that I've played with tonight. My guitar, is the only thing that I've bought. My guitar strap, a buddy of mine made for me, because I got into leather making a little bit during COVID, and I bought 2 big old cow shoulders and got into tooling leather and stuff like that. And then after COVID hit, I went back to working all the time, more than I already was during COVID, because I was essential. And I just kind of dropped that off, you know. And a buddy of mine got into leather working, and he was like, hey, what are you doing with all that stuff? I was like, are you getting into leather working? He was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna make one exception. I said, I'm gonna give you all of my tools, all of my leather. You gotta make me a guitar strap. He was like, I can do that for you. And that's the guitar strap I had on today.
That's nice.
You know, he had it put Martin on it, and checkered Vans, and then another one of the songs that I've kind of medleyed together. It's Milkshakes by Khalees and Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. You know, I mashed them 2 songs together, and so he put a milkshake on my guitar strap. And so, you know, everything else, like I said, the guitar strap, my capo was a gift. I didn't use it today, but I don't really use capo too much. I just put it on my guitar for
just in case.
Ryan Powers is smiling somewhere.
Our buddy Ryan Powers, who is sort of part of the house band that is here a lot, will always tell people, and it's such a divisive thing to say, but I love it about him, is he says if you use a capo, that you might as well just put a handicap sign on your guitar.
He says if you clip it to your rearview mirror, it works just like a handicap.
Right. And that's, you know, I'm the same way, but half the time I play out here is new people that I'm meeting, and I don't know if I'm going to need it or not. You know, I don't use a capo, but I carry a capo just in case. It's one of those emergency break off the guitar neck just in case, you know. Slap it on there. Somebody might be playing some high stuff that putting it way down low just won't do. But
that's the way to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a guitar player too, man.
Oh yeah,
like, you can play a guitar.
I twiddle around some, you know. It's one of those. I've always played guitar. I played guitar for just about 20 out of my 30 years old, and it's just kind of slowly gotten better and better, but I've never like sat down and just tried to hash it out and learn more and more in a single session since I was like 17, 18 years old. It's just kind of where I'm at now. I learn as I play, you know, playing with other people. I'll be watching them play and pick up new little tricks, or just kind of learn it by ear.
It's a good way to learn.
Yeah.
School of Hard Knocks is, I think, what they call it.
Right.
Sure.
So your vocals, when you started singing, how old were you?
I started off singing karaoke at the back of the B in Maypearl after my grandma had bribed me multiple times to sing. We would go to the back of the B after football practice, which was in the field behind the Busy Bee. We would go up there and we would have dinner and everybody would hang out, you know, and they would have karaoke on Thursday nights. And finally one night my grandma was like, look, I'll give you $20, you go up there and sing. And I said, okay, I can do that. And I went up there and sang Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. And that was just the start of my singing, because before I just fiddled around on the guitar. My dad showed me how to play Come As You Are by Nirvana. That was the first song I ever learned how to play.
Nice.
And from there, I just I liked singing. I already played guitar. And I joined the damn Texans when I was 15 or 16. You know, the guy that my dad had written those songs with. And he was like, hey, I need you to come play guitar for me. And I was nervous about it. You know, I never played in front of nobody. I sang karaoke in front of the bar, but everybody that was in that bar was people I grew up with. You know, there wasn't a stranger in there. So that wasn't any kind of nervous enduring or anything like that. And he was like, hey, you're going to sing? Eventually, we're going to get you up there, and you're going to sing and play by yourself. But he was like, for right now, I just need you to play guitar. And so I did that for about a year or two, and finally he was like, now that you've been playing, you're going to sing harmonies with me. And so we did that, and then towards the end of it, it was, hey, pick you a song, we're going to learn it, you're going to sing it, we're all going to play it. And I think that's what kind of pushed me into the actually playing and singing and got me out here to get more comfortable, because at that point we were playing in the sports bar and grill in Maypearl, and it was a lot of people I knew, and then there were some strangers mingled in, kind of get that nervousness out of you. And it was an experience, but at that time I was still one of those, I like being home, I like not being around strangers. You know,
I feel that.
I would play the gig, I would pack all my stuff up, and I would get out of it. I'd, get my check and go. I'd go home. And it's just kind of, I've gotten more and more comfortable where I'll sit around and hang out. People come up and talk to me. I still don't go out and talk to people. They've got to come to me for me to talk to them.
Well,
but that's just my nervousness, I guess.
I mean, first of all, that's a rad story. It's cool. It makes more sense where you get that from. Right. That's a good dad right there to do that. But then you're passing that on, and that's why you are the way with your daughters.
Yeah. I'd like to get them out there in front of strangers. Right now, they don't know a stranger. They wave by.
Oh, I know.
Kiss. Yeah,
I know. And here's the thing. I can be in a room full of people, and if your daughters are there, I'm focused on what, because if they don't like it, man, it's going to hurt my heart.
Oh, and they'll tell you the truth, too.
They will.
My youngest, she'll get that, it's too loud.
But, I mean, I don't know. You say that you're not a people person. That's so different than the experience that I've had with you, and maybe I've met you at a different time,
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that I think it was you came up to me, and I talked to you, and then from there, you're not a stranger at that point.
Yeah.
Per se. I've seen you multiple times, and I've just kind of gotten comfortable. I'm like, hey, that's Brandon. Tell the girls, hey, Brandon and Jillian are here.
Well, that's such a cool thing. It's so cool. And it's like, what you don't know is, when you walk into the room, I mean, my perspective shifts, and I'm like, Ethyn's here, and I'm stoked about it. But there's so many. But it's because of not only your personality, but what you do. If people know that you're going to come sing, they are stoked. So I want to be that liaison to tell people, like, there's this man out here in East Texas that you have not heard, and it's so special, Yeah. So hopefully we can be some kind of avenue. And hopefully I can get you to record some stuff pretty soon.
And we'll get there, too.
We got to take a minute, definitely, to holler at the kids and the family there on camera, because I know that my son would love that if I talked to him on camera.
Yeah,
and,
all the time.
And then, do you have any recommendations for anybody else you'd like to see in here that you personally would like to hear their songs on True Tall Tales and Whiskey?
I think y'all have covered up quite a bit of the people that I know out here that I've taught, not taught, met. I've got all my buddies out back from home. Jimmy Zapata, I think he'd be a pretty good person to get out here. Cameron Chambers, he's moved a little further west, so he might be a little more difficult to get in here. Who else? We got the guys in Cadillac Pearl. It's a full band. Mikey Terry, Eric Marion, Greg Mathers. That'd be a pretty cool group to get in here as well. And I know there's so many out there. Josh Merzinski, Trigger Jones. He's a pretty cool dude. That it's out there. It's like out here. It's kind of a family. Everybody drags everybody around. Yeah. And so I know there's probably quite a few people out there that I'm forgetting. Jason Heron, he's another one that it's like out here. Everybody's got everybody's back. We'll find somebody to fill a spot wherever you go, whenever you need it.
Yeah.
And if they tell you no, they're like, hey, holler at so-and-so. I know he doesn't have anything going on this weekend.
Yeah.
You get at him and tell him, come on now, and he'll do it. It's just one of those, everybody's got everybody's back out there.
Dude, I love hearing that. I love hearing that. When there's a community of people that have each other's backs.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing.
And it was a great thing to be a part of. And since I've been out here, it's kind of harder. You know, every once in a while I'll get a shout, you know, hey, come play out here. But most of the time I'm either booked out here or we got something going on with the kids, so it's kind of harder to do. I'm actually playing at the rodeo in Ellis County next weekend, so that's the first. I think that's the first time I've played out there in probably a year now. Is playing back towards the house. So
that's very cool.
But yeah, no. On top of that, Lily and Lennon, how y'all doing? I'm glad you get to see me on TV. This is where I'm at. I didn't leave you forever. I'll be back home soon. Same with you, Allison. We'll be there.
Perfect.
Love it.
Anybody got anything else?
No, I think we about covered it. I really enjoyed you coming out here, and your story was fun to hear, especially as a girl dad. That's kind of why I pointed out those stickers. I really enjoyed that part of this interview.
I got like 3 or 4 hats that say girl dad on them.
I do too. I got that girl dad hat.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank everybody for listening to the interview. Ethyn, thank you for coming out to the Whiskey Locker. We had a great time. Songs are awesome. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think of his music. And thank y'all for listening to another episode of True Tall Tales and Whiskey.